It's been a great transition. You're only as good as the guys around you, and so we've got a great staff. Obviously, it's a big staff, offensively especially, but everybody's got their roles. They understand their roles, and it's been a great collaboration, run and pass game between everybody. Those guys make it fun. We got a great camaraderie between the whole group right now. We're able to joke around in the meeting room with each other, and obviously Raheem is the funniest guy ever, and so he brings light to anything. So whenever he pops in, it's always good. So transition's been smooth overall, and it's just been fun to slowly build this thing up. It's hard to believe we're almost capping this thing off before the summer, but seeing a lot of good progress.
Give me an example of a Raheem popping in a joke or something he said.
I don't know if I can say it on. No, he's always got. I don't think I've ever been around Rob. First of all, when he's in a bad mood, or when you don't leave the room and he says something that just makes you laugh. You guys have gotten to know him. Unbelievable, just leader from that standpoint. Always able to make light about things, but also knows when to be serious. So. But there's been so many moments, almost hard to peg one.
For you as a former quarterback, do you find yourself almost pulling back, trying to give them, like, okay, do this, do that, or like, here's some advice that I have? Do you almost try to say, okay, I gotta let someone else do that maybe?
Sure,
or?
Yeah, that's where, you have so much confidence in TJ and DJ in that room that you coach up the scheme. If you see something, you're saying something, but you're also, you just want these guys to play at the same time and not be thinking about so many different things. So that's always the challenge of a coach is, giving them enough information that they need to hear, but not overloading them with too much information. So I think those guys have done a great job of it, and that's always the balance we're trying to find.
Through OTAs, I know you've said you're happy with the work that you guys have done, but is there like a moment that you've been like, okay, I'm really happy with this specific progress, or we've cleared this benchmark?
Yeah, I think last week, before we had the break, we had a couple good practices. Went to Mercedes-Benz, had a great practice at the stadium before that break, and I think you take a week off and you're able to kind of step back and be like, all right, let's watch all of our cut-ups again, and you watch it multiple times, and you think, maybe in that moment you're frustrated with something, but then when you look at the big picture, you're like, you know what, we've made a lot of great strides. And so I think, going back to your question, really the week before we had off, it was kind of like, okay, we've got the bulk of the offense in. It's been cool to see everything kind of mesh together with the run and pass game. Still got a long way to go. We're constantly going to be evolving and tweaking and working on fundamentals and techniques. But when I took a step back after that practice at the stadium, you watch all the stuff again last week, you're like, okay, we're in a great spot, and we'll just keep rolling from here.
Had you been in the stadium? I can't remember when you coached against them.
2019.
Okay. So
when I was with the Rams.
Okay.
Yeah, when I was with the Rams in 2019, we came out here and played.
Okay. So that was the first time. A lot of people go in there like,
yeah.
oh, wow.
No, it's an incredible stadium. And then we went to an Atlanta United game about a month ago now, and so seeing the stadium empty though was pretty cool. I was like, man, it's unbelievable. Just facility. The locker room is awesome for the coaches, the players. So all the stuff that comes with it is cool, and we're just excited to pack that thing out and get this thing rolling.
Last thing I'll ask is, Bijan yesterday or the other day talked about how there's been kind of like talk of him being used kind of like a Christian McCaffrey, a different kind of way than we've seen him used in the past. I just wonder what your thoughts are on that, him saying that.
Yeah, I think, Bijan's such a talented player. He's going to play running back first and foremost, and then any way we can find creative ways to get him the ball like the Niners do with Christian McCaffrey is exactly right. So continuing to tailor and tweak things and find creative ways to get him the football, not just in the dot or in the offset gun running the football, but using his receiver skills without overloading him too much. So I think that's always going to be the balance of it is, hey, you're playing running back, but here's some of the specific nuances that we can get you involved in the pass game.
Cool. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah, 2 questions. Sorry. I was talking with Drake the other day about like implementing a new system and learning it, how that is. And he said it was like learning your multiplications for the first time. So it was funny.
Yeah.
But like for someone or like for people that aren't in the football world or like just aren't in the football team, how would you explain what it is to learn what a new system is?
Yeah, it's you hear it's like learning a foreign language. I mean, it really is in some instances. We've had like you look at like a Darnell Mooney and Charlie Warner, some of these guys that have come in that are have already had banked years in the NFL, and so those guys are able to make more sense of it. Drake's still a pretty young player, and there's there's a few things that maybe was called the same, but for the most part, it's entirely new. And the one thing that always is going to show up is, guys they can hear it from us, and we can talk about it in the film room all we want, but those guys got to go out there and do it and actually line up themselves and see what the motion feels like and see what the landmark feels like on this specific route. So the more that those guys can get out there and just do it is better than me sitting up there with the clicker saying exactly how it should be done, and that's always going to be the case with football and really with any athlete out there. You got to go get those physical reps. But in terms of the terminology, we've thrown a lot at these guys, and they've digested it really well. They're playing really fast, and so that's been really encouraging.
And then in terms of, I'm sure you've been asked it before, but with the new kickoff rule and special teams, everything like that, from an offensive coordinator standpoint, how does that change? Well, I mean, I know it's looking like it's estimated there's going to be more plays.
Sure.
But does that change your mind? What's your thought?
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to change much, as you're looking at it right now. I think we're going to learn a lot more as we go, but might just be like average starting field position and some of those types of things. Maybe you're, changing your tendencies on coming out of the gates on P and 10s and things like that. But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see the whole thing play out. But as of right now, if we got more plays, that's great. That means hopefully we're scoring more points, and it'll be exciting for everybody to see.
I think it's going to change it a lot because it's bringing the play back to life. It's going to be over 600 more plays in the NFL, which is going to accumulate more yards, which is going to equal to more points. I think it's exciting. Yes, it is unknown because this play hasn't been ran before. I know the XFL had a variation of it, but the way we're doing it in the NFL is a little bit different, and I'm excited. And I think because it is an unknown, our players are embracing the unknown. And we're going to embrace this opportunity to help our offense and defense with better field position, scoring points, eliminating points, probably taking the ball away, and it's going to create some momentum. So I think when a guy like Avery Williams or Cordell Hodge makes a tackle on kickoff, our defense is coming on the field, David Onyemata coming on the field hyped up, and whoever they want to put back there as a returner, it's an extra hit on that ball carrier. And I think in the return game, having a guy back like Avery Williams, having Rondell Moore, having Ray McLeod, possibly Tyler Algier. We have a bunch of returners that we could put back there. Mike Hughes, who was really good coming out of UCF. We have a lot of opportunities to be dynamic on that phase. And you could talk about scheme and all that stuff, but our schemes are relevant when it comes to special teams for us for the Atlanta Falcons because it's the players. The players develop our schemes, they bring the calls to life, and they have a lot of ownership in what we do on special teams because it's a collaborative effort. So I'm very excited about that.
Did your phone blow up from your players as soon as the rule was announced?
It was funny. A former player hit me up, and one of the things he told me is like, Coach, some of the drills that we do is just like this kickoff return rule. So we're excited because we could get to use some of the modalities and teachings that we've already been using the last couple of years with drill work and apply this to this new play. So I'm very excited. I'm excited for all of our players, and it's going to create more opportunities for those guys, both on and off the field.
Are they excited?
Oh my goodness, yes they are. So you've asked any of our guys that play on special teams, which is everybody on our team that plays on special teams. I even had some of the D linemen talking about, hey coach, I can return. And I'm like, okay, you just go. Just play a gap and a half, stop the run, go attack the quarterback. But it's fun because our players understand that they get to be on special teams rather than have to be on special teams. So all of our players are excited, and it's been great. We've been working the drills, working the fundamentals, and at the end of the day, whether you have new rules, new guidelines, new structures, at the end of the day, we're working on blocking, tackling, running the football, ball security, attacking the football, all those things. It's just basic fundamentals. It just so happens it involves a kick.
Were you involved in the process of getting this rule passed? I'm not sure how that worked.
So, special teams coordinators, it's a rare club to be in, I think. It's 32 of us plus the assistants. You add about 70 coaches. So we had a lot of Zoom meetings. It's very collaborative, making sure that we could help in any way possible keep this play alive. And I give the credit to all the other special teams coaches out there. Working with Rich McKay has been awesome. Being able to have him in house and talk with him about various things. So I give a lot of credit to the NFL, the special teams coaches, and then the competition committee keeping this play alive.
Yeah, how beneficial is it having Rich in house?
Oh, it's amazing.
Especially for this.
Yes, it's amazing. He's been a great asset to have, and he does a great job of communicating. And again, too, the NFL wants to keep the play alive, and Rich and the competition committee has done a great job of helping out with that.
What was that process like of having to go through all the Zoom calls and everything like that to get it approved? Was it something where there's some pushback from some people, or was it mostly like everyone was like, hey, let's try to get this going?
I think that's a great question, Victor. When there is an unknown, when there's something that hasn't been done before, there's naturally going to be pushback because there's an unknown about the play. But at the same time, we understand the objective and the intent and the safe. One, keep the players safe. It's the players' league, keep them safe. And then also, two, we want to keep this play alive. It's going to create more value for kickers, more value for core players, more value for returners. And that's exciting when it comes to this play because, you watching the Super Bowl, there wasn't a return. In NFL, it was the first Super Bowl in NFL history where there was not a kickoff return. And that play was becoming dead. And now we were able to bring this play back to life. And we don't know how it's going to look yet. But it's going to be cool to be adaptable, which our players are. Our coaching staff is very adaptable, and to see how this play works out. And again, our scheme is our players. So I'm excited for our players and what we're going to put out on the field to come this year.
And for you, like you said, no one really knows what's going to happen, right? It's a clean slate. No one's seen what it's going to be like. When you're looking at that, does that excite you? Does that make you nervous? Because it's like almost like a painting, like an artist looking at a paint camera. You can make whatever you want to.
I'm excited. And I tell you, our coaching staff, we're excited. Again, we get the opportunities to first play on offense. When you turn on any game, whether we're looking at the Super Bowl, you're looking at week 1 when we play Pittsburgh, the play starts with a kickoff or a kickoff return. And each and every game, you're guaranteed 2 plays. And those 2 plays is kickoff and kickoff return. So I'm excited about this because it's going to create so much more value for our players. It's going to create a lot of opportunities for players, not just our players, but players around the NFL. And it's going to create extra points. More points in the game. So it's going to be fun. I'm excited. There is unknown, but you could have some type of nervousness or angst about it. But for us, we laid down the foundation of what we're going to be about on special teams. So I'm excited for those guys come this 24 season.
And I don't know if that was a problem or not, but I don't know what they did the 2 years prior to that.
Yeah.
I just know from Green Bay and Minnesota, we got after quarterback. And let's get after quarterback. And trust me, if you can get after quarterback, the defensive back loves you.
Makes their job easier.
Way easier.
Yeah. So basically, this style is like just let it rip, just get after him, like make the quarterback get a hit or whatever it might be. Because I remember one defensive coordinator was telling me that we all look at sack numbers, but also just QB hits are just as important.
Yeah, to me, we call it disruption. How can you disrupt the quarterback? And if you could disrupt the quarterback and get him off timing, throw the ball when you don't supposed to, get him off the spot and do those things, that help everybody else on our defense. But if he can sit back there and pack the ball, it doesn't matter who you have rushing, you're going to be in trouble in the back end.
You're amazing as always. I could talk to him forever. He's always so great.
Thank you.
Good?
I'm just asking more.
Yeah.
Talking to some players this offseason, the vibe was, we got Jared back. We're so happy he's been retained. When you hear things like that personally, what's that mean to you?
Well, it means that I must have did something to them to affect them when I was there last year. And I know Jesse and those guys understood. Yeah, Jesse played at a higher level, but we're trying to get everyone to play at that same level. And I think that's the biggest thing, that once our guys understand that my job here is to make you better. It's not to take away from you. It's not to do anything negative of you. It's to make you a better football player and hopefully a better person. So if you're here in Atlanta or if you happen to go somewhere else, you can remember that, man, Jerry did this for me. So you're still looking for that when you get to the other place.
Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
And not only from Mike's perspective, learning all those things, learning how to be a professional, learning how to be an NFL pro quarterback off the field. Then on the field is a whole nother different dynamic. You got things you have to learn, things you can see, things you can pick up here and there. Everything's going to be a learning experience for Mike as he goes through this progression of being a rookie. And that's just kind of how it is. And you don't really have a time, especially with the rookie schedule how it is, he's not going to have a time to fully sit down and reevaluate everything that happened this year until next offseason. The way it is, he comes straight from a national championship, straight into draft prep, straight into draft meetings, visits, all that stuff, and he comes straight in here, and it's all about ball. So, he's got to do a good job of, balancing how he's going to handle these things and how much he's going to learn and taking his mental breaks when he can, because it's that rookie wall is a real thing. If you don't take your time to step away when you have that opportunity, it could end up catching up with you in the end. But no, he's been great so far. He's been so open to learn everything and eager to learn. He's working his butt off.
How
much of a challenge is that for you as a coach, right? Because you go from, obviously with Kirk, a veteran quarterback, you say you don't have to really, handle it as much.
Yeah.
Then you have a young quarterback like Michael, who you probably have to do a lot more as far as, that obviously brings out your versatility as a coach too, right?
Yeah, there's, I think the way that Raheem has it set up, we have our time where all the quarterbacks are meeting together, then they go lift, and we have time where just the rookies are in there. So you have these conversations with everything. They might be different than the conversations you have just with the rookies. So being able to have these high-level conversations with everybody in the room, because you're talking to a guy that's had so much experience in the league, and then going back and breaking it down into simple steps and trying to make it as simple as possible for somebody who's learning it right away for the very first time. So it's a different dynamic. It's something I've been on both sides of it. I've been a kind of a veteran quarterback. I've been a rookie quarterback. I've been in different rooms with different guys. I've coached different positions. So you kind of learn from all your experiences in the league of how to talk and teach to different guys.
TJ, I thought it was really interesting when talking with Jerry that he talked about Kirk Cousins, we know is a leader, but he's also a leader with the defensive guys too. Like after a play, he'll go talk with Jesse. Just how valuable is it to see that on both sides of the ball?
Yeah, no, talk about two guys that are so cerebral and have so much experience that are just watching Kirk and watching Jesse interact from across the ball and plays. And then as soon as the play is done, we have those video boards that show the replays. They go over there like, all right, what were you doing here? And then talking to Kirk today, we were watching some film. He's like, yeah, I was talking to Jesse about this. They sit down and watch practice film together, kind of pick each other's brain. That's just high-level leadership. That's high-level two dudes that are so intuitively into the game that they can pick each other's brains, where it's not just like a cross-the-ball competition. I'm going to get you. Like, they're both about making each other better to make the team better.
Yeah, because then it's like, what are you saying? What am I missing? And something like that. So when whoever you face, like that, to me, that's fascinating. When we were talking with the guys too about the video boards, and like some of them getting used to it. What is it like for you? Have you had the video boards before? Did it take you time to get used to it?
I've had them before in previous places that I've been, just one time. But it's a cool tool. You got to make sure you're not watching it too much and staying into practice. But as soon as the play is over, you're like just kind of confirming, did I see that correctly? I may have had him open. It's a good little tool for those guys to have, and you can always go back in between periods and go check out something. It's a great investment that the organization made to put those in there. I think it only can help us.
Only I think about next week's the mandatory minicamp, then you break for training camp. So what's kind of the final things you want to work on with both Penix and Kirk?
Yeah, just finishing a strong offseason for both of those guys. Obviously with Mike, everything's a learning process. We're going to continue to, give him a whole packet of information when he gets out of here and make sure he's studying, making sure he's up to date. But with Kirk, it's just about, finishing strong. We've made a lot of progress as an offense, as a team, as a quarterback room since we've been here, since OTAs and the offseason program started. But just finish that off strong, and I know these guys are eager just to come straight back. We've already talking about the plan coming back when we get to OTA or get to training camp, what we're going to do, what we're going to, the progression we're going to kind of keep going forward. And we have little times where we have these little individual development plans. You kind of recheck each other every couple weeks. Like, hey, this is what we've been working on. Come back to it a couple weeks. Are we good at what we said we're going to do? Create something new. Find something else to work on. Just keep progressing. Keep building with those guys. It's a great group to be around. They're also eager to learn and just keep progressing.
And having those types of people, along with being dynamic football players, you have a lot less distractions and you can concentrate on football. So hopefully we'll continue that theme going forward, and we'll put more wins behind losses.
Coach, really appreciate you.
Appreciate you, brother.
Like one of the things that Ron mentioned when he was kind of remodeling that receivers room is that you guys went in. I think you said you guys had like some videos of players that you felt were like the vision that you had.
Yep.
Who were some of the players that you showed him from what you remember?
We have some free agents, and they were, same free agents everybody was after. There's a Hollywood Brown, there's a Tyler Boyd, there's a, Darnell Mooney. We can go on and on. Mike Evans was out there for a second. There are plenty of guys that I can bring up. We just know that for the vision for this football team, having Drake London being the only receiver under contract, we wanted to get faster around Drake. I mentioned to someone else, we like having guys that can create their own shots, getting one-on-one situations and win and separate for our quarterback. So having Darnell, having Rondale, having Ray, we have some young players that are growing around 5. We're excited about, what can possibly be.
What are your early impressions of Ray Ray so far?
I have a personal relationship with Ray Ray.
Okay.
I had Ray Ray in Pittsburgh in 20 and 21, so I know exactly who he is. I'm grateful for management for, allowing Ray Ray the opportunity to be here. He is a fearless return man, primarily a return man that now gets a chance to compete at wideout exclusively. That doesn't mean that he won't help in a return game as well, because he's really good at that. But we have guys outside of Drake and Mooney that have an opportunity to carve a niche out for themselves in a passing game if they continue to stack positive days and do well. So I'm personally, and we're all personally excited about Ray Ray and his opportunity to play wideout.
What's it been like working alongside this staff? It's a little different when a new staff all kind of comes together. How has it kind of meshed for you all?
It's unique for me because the only guy that I knew was the head coach. And we have a talented group of men, in this building, and women, throughout the whole, that have done a fantastic job from day one, putting the right people in place in every aspect of what we're trying to do. So I couldn't be more excited. I think, having a veteran quarterback that's seen everything with a young group of playmakers just speaking for the offense, and if we can continue to stack positive days, it should be really exciting around here.
How do you know when a staff kind of merges together? And of course, there's going to be disagreements to kind of get things together. But how do you know that this is a staff that can work together well? What have you kind of seen?
It's all about communication for the most part. You're going to have healthy conversation, and that includes arguments. As long as they're productive and everybody can understand everyone's unique perspective, and then the decision makers make the decision and we're all going in the same direction, which we're doing. That's how we know we have a pretty good staff here.